Welcome to this week's edition of the Lineup podcast. I am Paul Peluso, the managing editor of Officer Magazine, and I'm joined by Frank Borelli, the editorial director of Officer Media Group. How's it going today, Frank?
Good morning, Paul. Welcome to Friday.
Hey, yeah, Friday. So, we're in the midst of summer, kind of winding down summer in a month or a little bit over a month here. So we're near the end of July. So I'm sure everybody that's trying to take time off for vacations, taking time off for vacation if you guys can. So hopefully, and it's hot out there, so stay hydrated. These months, Frank, I don't know about by you, but down here in Florida, it's been it's been really hot.
Well, and we have different definitions of really hot, but here in the Mid-Atlantic region, we'll be mid 90s today, with the humidity up near 80%. So
Yeah.
it'll feel like a steam bath.
So yeah, for anybody out there, any officers out there in southern parts of the country, but even in the mid-Atlantic areas up there and other parts of the South, the humidity. We all know about the humidity, and that'll take you out more than the sun. And just make sure to stay hydrated. Do that Gatorade, do the liquid IV, anything that helps replenish your electrolytes there. So
Electrolytes.
yeah, stay safe out there. So a bunch of stuff to talk about today. First thing I did want to touch on is the Station Design Awards. The nominations are still open for that, and they go through August 8th. So if you have a station that was built within the last 4 years, reach out to your architect, and tell the command staff, reach out to the architect, have that submitted to us. It's a really cool program that we run in the November, December issue of Officer Magazine. So if you haven't checked that out before, please do. And it's something that we take real pride in. So it would be cool to get more and more submissions from you guys. Uh, with that aside, let's talk about this week's stories. So the first one we have here is so three police officers in Lorraine, I believe I'm saying that correctly, Lorraine, Ohio, were ambushed by a gunman. So two officers were there. This was just the other day on Tuesday, and they were having lunch, cruisers side by side, when all of a sudden, and they were like in an industrial park, and a gunman was waiting, lying in wait with a rifle, and ambushed them, and then a third officer rode up and in response, and then shot that officer. So all three were wounded, and then just yesterday, Officer Philip Wagner, one of those three officers, died. So the others are still wounded, and it's just a bad situation. We came out with the report from the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund. Believe that was 2 weeks ago, Frank, saying,
Yeah.
that overall deaths are down for the first, half of the year, all categories. Good things to see, but these ambush shootings just seem like they keep happening. And it's sad. What are your thoughts on this?
We have potential for the first time in a long time, since the 40s, 1940s, to have under 100 officers lost in the line of duty in a year. But the ambush killings seem to never go away. And I don't know why. I don't know what they're empowering. This guy sitting with a high powered rifle, he sat and he had to know where these officers usually met. He got in a position to be able to shoot them, shoots the third officer when he rolls up to help. It's a sad state of affairs. Hopefully the other two officers recover and are okay. Hate to lose any officer in the line. Hate to lose an officer even off duty. Um, we've got to stay alert to these. There's really no way to be alert to a precision marksman, a sniper with a rifle shooting from a distance. But guys, stay on your toes. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This is a sad state of affairs. You have people sitting there just eating lunch. They're out there to protect and serve, and somebody decides they don't like them that day. This is evil, and there's no other way for me to say it.
Yeah, so of course, you know, all of our prayers and thoughts and stuff go out to the department, to the officer's family, and just hoping that the other two officers can make it through. And on to the next story here. So, you know, this was in the news, I believe, over the weekend. Off-duty Customs and Border Patrol officer was shot in the face during a botched robbery in New York City, and he was shot in the face by an immigrant who entered the country illegally, and so this kind of touches on a lot of things going out there, right, Frank? Big city crime, the immigration thing, and then Customs and Border Patrol wasn't a nice agent, it was Customs and Border Patrol agent, but he was off duty, and just everything kind of rolled up into one here. Hope the officers recovering. Hope things okay. This got a lot of national attention. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, off duty, off duty, right? And we talk about big city, but this happened in a park. With the Upper Manhattan parks. So if you look at the imagery, there's a lighthouse, and the guys by the water. Um, we again, you're never truly off duty. If you're going to take action, law enforcement action when you're off duty, make sure you're using all the proper tactics. It's really nice to have as many of your force options available as you can rather than just your firearm. That's not always, I can tell you right now, as a cop off duty, I never walked around with my handgun, my baton, my taser, my OC spray, my handcuffs, blah, blah, blah. If you were lucky, I got a pair of handcuffs on. But honestly, when I was off duty, at least for the latter half of my career, I wasn't getting involved in anything other than being an expert witness. Especially if I was with my family or friends, I don't want to have them, put in a potentially dangerous situation. Um, we got to be on our toes. Off duty is not off duty. If you're a cop, you're a cop. When you start to take law enforcement action, you just shifted from off duty to on duty. And Paul, I want to make sure we also talk about that Colorado Springs officer. But those are my thoughts on this one. Um, I thought we had another article ahead of this. I want to make sure we don't forget.
Yeah.
Guys, off duty is not off duty. You take action, you're on duty. Pay attention.
Yeah, and thanks for reminding me of that, Frank. We will definitely get back to that one. But while we're on the subject of off duty, there's an off duty Florida deputy who was able to save a boy who was attacked by a family's dogs. Basically, the one of his neighbors knew where he lived. The incident happened. It was her 5-year-old son was in the backyard with his 6-year-old brother when the family's three Great Danes attacked. And this deputy, Deputy Stephen Murphy with the uh, Hernando County Sheriff's Office, and he's also a paramedic with the Hernando County Fire Rescue. He was
Yeah.
able to use the medical kit from his patrol car, started providing aid until backup medical personnel arrived. Um, really good thinking here. I mean, one, three Great Danes is a lot of Great Danes, right? That's a lot, but great thinking on the mother's part, on the deputy's part, and in the end, this kid's gonna make it through. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, and this woman is lucky that the deputy was indeed a paramedic as well as being a
Yeah.
deputy, right? Not all of us have that level of emergency first aid training or emergency medical care training. I'm not the guy. I've always been a big dog person. Like I'm the guy that'll tell you, look, if you got a Chihuahua, it's not really a dog. You don't have a pet dog, whatever. And people make fun of me, and I get everybody has a different flavor of pet, right? I don't. You do you, boo, right? That's whatever dog you have, but I've always been a big dog guy. Like if it's less than 50 pounds, I didn't really want it as a pet. I've had dogs that weighed 110, 130. I used to have an English Mastiff. We had a Chesapeake Bay Retriever that was huge when I was in high school. I had a dog that was half Malamute, half wolf. He weighed 148 pounds. What we need to remember is, and we never know what's going to set them off, these three Great Danes attacking a 5-year-old, and she had a 6-year-old son there as well. We don't know what caused it. We don't know what set it off. We have no way of anticipating these events, and it's absolutely horrific. I can promise you that family no longer has those dogs because they're just not going to risk that with their other child or any other children that come around. Um, thank God she had the presence of mind to go to the deputy. Thank God the deputy had the paramedic training. Thank God the kid's okay. Um, Again, I keep using the statement "sad state of affairs." I hate to think a beloved family pet commits this kind of violence, and it's just a dog being a dog for whatever it was. It set off one of them, and the other two joined in. It set off whatever. We'll never know. Um, I hope the kid's okay. I hope that it doesn't, for life, scar him emotionally, so that he can't enjoy the companionship of a pet. We joke about, are you a dog person, you a cat person, you're a goldfish person. Pets are a wonderful form of stress management and support, emotional support. We see it all the time in emotional support dogs. I hope this kid comes out at the other end of this okay enough to have pets and enjoy and to have the joy of them.
Well said, Frank. So hopping over to Colorado Springs, police released body camera footage of a fatal officer involved shooting. So the footage from this, because you have it from a couple different angles here in this video. Um, you have like the surveillance video, you have the body cam video, and I think this one, it's a good example of just the technology that we have to back up what the officer's seeing, what the officer's going through. Um, so they released audio, they released all this. The department's forthright with all of this stuff. So just before this was on the early morning hours of July 5th. You can see a lot of people congregated in an area outside vehicles in the video, and they received a call about a man who was carrying a rifle and yelling at people outside a nightclub. They approached people in the parking lot and asked if anybody was carrying a gun. In this video, you can actually see the man with the gun in his hand, and then the officer gives chase, and then the man pulls out the gun while he's giving chase, and then he's shot. But
You have the engagement. Yep.
I I think that the use of the footage here, to kind of back up what the officer was going through, there's a lot of bad things about technology sometimes, right? There's a lot of things that officers have to learn new skills, when a lot of this technology comes out. But at the same
Yep.
time, this backs up, what the officer went through, what he saw, and his actions.
So, a couple of things I hate the story in general, right? I mean, officers get in shootings, they deal with so much. It's a traumatic event. All of the aftermath is a pain. That said, I really like this story from the firearms instructor's angle, at least the video, because in some of the video you can see how the officer's holding the gun, and it's mostly vertical, but you can also see in different video and images how the officer's essentially holding the gun as if he's pointing it, like he's pointing at the person, and the gun's just mounted in his hand. So it's just like it's almost horizontal, and they have red dot sights. So the firearms instructor side of me says, see, you don't have to hold the gun perfectly vertical. Shoot what's comfortable for your skeletal structure. Using that red dot, it doesn't matter. Using mechanical sights, it doesn't matter, but with the red dot, it's especially easier. I love the fact that we have information about the real time crime center in Colorado Springs, and how it was used to follow up on the call, right? So you have the first call, crowd cleared, then they re engage, and the officers respond again. I love the fact that we can monitor the aftermath and see, is that call really cleared or not? And then using that same info data, what kind of risk are we walking into to respond to this call again? Shame about the bad guy getting shot, but you pull a gun on a cop, you get shot. I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep about that. I hope the officer's okay, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and he moves on in his career. But kudos for doing the right thing.
So the next story I wanted to talk about is this summer camp in Michigan, in Ann Arbor, that the Ann Arbor police and fire departments join up with the city to put together. It's called Blazing Blue, and they welcome girls ages 15 to 18, and they basically put them through, some basic training and some knowledge exercises and public safety, and try to get them ready for a career in law enforcement, fire, whatever they may choose to do. But this is pretty cool. Have you we have explorers for younger kids. There's different programs in different areas, and there's summer camps like this. But for those older girls that are you know, getting to be college age, what do you think of this program? They did it at the university complex there, and I think it's pretty cool.
I think this is a great program. I wonder if they do the same thing for males. I mean, this was specifically female class. I think it said 11 of them, ages 15 to 18. They give them exposure to different things, and the guns that you can see them shooting in the image that we have available is they're simunitions weapons. They're not
Yeah.
quote unquote real firearms. They're not shooting bullets. They're shooting wax pellets full of a colored dye. They have red dots. They have lights. I love the fact that they can make it as real as they possibly can. Again, the firearms instructor in me looks at the positions and go, okay, farthest shooter, she's probably going to get great hits. The second one, she looks like she's afraid of guns. One up closest to us that we can see her face and everything else, she's a right-handed shooter with her right eye closed, so she's left eye dominant. We got challenges. The things you can pull out in detail, right? But I like the program. I like the exposure for it. And, fire and police, this is a public safety program, not just a police program. And if we get some of these motivated youngsters, and I sound like an old guy, these youngins, if we get them into the profession and they do well, great. We've I don't want to say hooked them early, but we've shown them the benefits early. We've shown them the positives. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and like I said, I think the thing that I like the most about this is the age range, right? The 15 to 18 age range that a lot of times we focus on those younger kids with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the youth programs, even Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, send them to the fire station, send them to the police station to, so that they get more of a knowledge and an understanding. But I feel like once they get older, once they get into high school, that's kind of they get busy, people get busy, but you don't focus on, bringing them around to things like that anymore. And a camp like this, definitely enriching. That's for any career
And
that they decide to go into. But if they decide to go into public safety, that's great.
it looks like it's a 4-day camp with 2 days being law enforcement
Yeah.
focused and 2 days being firefighter focused, I guess. Um, Again, you're right. If they don't even go into in either of these professions, the positive contacts and the information that gets shared has got to serve them well in their adult life.
So the last story we have for this week is I think you like to call this the stupid criminal story, right, Frank? This is
I would say this guy's kind of smart, but
well, so
he's so smart it's stupid.
yeah,
I
so
don't know
the
how to put it.
California police stopped a motorcyclist, uniform, badge, and gun. And his setup really like he has all the stuff. Um, but if you look at a picture of this guy, he's very old. He is past retirement age. If you see if you see a picture of this guy,
Wow.
and well, yeah. So this was in Hemet, I believe is how you say
Yeah.
California. And they pull him over, look him up, and they learn he's a convicted felon. So yeah, what do you make of this one?
You know, kudos to the guy for the Halloween costume.
Yeah.
He had a lot of the things on this uniform right. Obviously not the helmet, obviously not the badge. He's wearing a uniform shirt with a external vest carrier over it, and then a badge clipped on his belt. I guess okay, is it the right badge for um, is it the right badge for the uniform and the agency? What's the patches on the agency? Is all this stuff, is it done right? Is it wrong? Whatever. No name on there, traffic. I mean, he got a lot of it right. But I'm looking at the picture of what he was carrying, and they said two stun guns. Well, he's got two different tasers. One of them hasn't been used by anybody, as far as I know, in the last 20 years, but it looks amazingly like a Glock handgun. So we could have had big problems there. And then a normal, what we call stun gun, radio, all this other stuff. He didn't do a bad job, but at 73 years old,
Yes.
what's the point? Is he pulling people over trying to extort money from them to get them out of speeding tickets or what? And what kind of motorcycle was he on? That was the other thing is like,
Yeah.
was this guy on a Harley law enforcement type motorcycle or a BMW type motorcycle, or is he out there on like an XR 125 with some red and blues on it? And people went, okay, dude, that's a dirt bike.
Yeah. And so yeah, he's 73-year-old and his name is Marshall Goodnight, which that's a name. That is
That's a James Bond movie name.
that's a
What the heck's
name.
up with that?
So, but yeah, so they ended up pulling this guy over and uh got what coming to him, but at 73, maybe he was just looking for a good time. Who knows? So yeah, that's all the stories we got, Frank. Um, how anything you've seen out there? What have you been up
One
to?
thing I do want to talk
Yeah, yeah,
about before we say
yeah, yeah.
goodbye, and you and I have been in meetings about this for the
No, of
last week.
course.
Everybody who comes to Officer.com
Oh,
through the
yes.
years, if you've come long enough, you've seen some changes in the website. We are in the process of another redesign of what you see,
Yeah.
the information delivered, the channelization. So if you don't realize it, our website is effectively a virtual police department, right? We have headquarters, we have training, we have patrol, we have investigations, we have SWAT tactical, and then everything else that we have. All of that stays. We have honoring the fallen for our fallen brothers and sisters. We have a section where you can find our contributors and our editorial advisory committee and all that. All of that staying there. How it's presented to you is going to be different. It's just a change in the visualization. What we've always referred to as the hamburger menu is still going to be there. You can still find things under it. And I think this redesign is going to make the site more mobile friendly. I don't know how you feel about it, Paul,
Yeah.
but I wanted to let our readers know it's coming. Don't be shocked and surprised by it. Same information, same site, just a different visual presentation to make it a little bit easier for the readership, we hope.
Yeah, it's supposed to make it cleaner, more accessible through mobile devices. And yeah, if whoever's listening to this, if or watching this, if you haven't signed up for newsletters like our daily news day or any of our channelized newsletters, please do because that helps us as well. And those will be staying about the same. And yeah, so the presentation of the site will be a little bit different, but the information that we provide you will remain the same, and we hope that everybody keeps coming back to the website. Well, that does it for
Yep.
us. Yeah, yeah,
And
go
that's
ahead,
all I've
Frank.
got this week, Paul.
Yeah, yeah, that
Nope.
does
That's
it
all
for
I got this
us.
week.
So everybody, like we said, hot out there, humid out there. Depending on where you are in the country, pretty much throughout, it's pretty hot right now. Compared to what it is in other months. So stay hydrated, stay safe, and if you have off, enjoy your day off. If you're working, stay safe out there and and take care.
We'll talk to you next week.